Hey guys, it's B here and welcome back to the main phase. Today I bring you something slightly different. As you may know if you're in my circles, Kuchen is a Yu-Gi-Oh format, quote unquote, that consists of many different formats. It's aiming to replicate something similar to Pokemon Showdown or Smogon, in which there are different layers or tiers where you can play Yu-Gi-Oh with different power levels effectively. Different decks are legal, there's a different ban list to a certain degree. And it's really fun. And I'm going to show you one of my favorite decks for layer 2. They are running a tournament. I do not believe it has started, so you might be able to still sign up if you want to try out this deck. So let's get into the deck. But first, you need to subscribe. You need to hit the bell. You need to comment. You need to like. And you need to join Rewrite format and Kuchen format. Rewrite's based. It's a format where we have different sets of cards. And it's updating. We're trying to sort of update around every month or two. And Kuchen format is base, and I've already explained what that is. So let's just get into the deck. It's Agent. It's a fairy deck that sort of like aims to sort of be a mid-range combo deck. And this is an Agents list without Shine Balls. So let's get into this list. Okay, so we've got 40 cards, obviously. And let's just get into the card by card. So we've got Triss Hierarchia. This is just used for Diviner. Master Hyperion. This card's really good. You can search it off of Earth if you've got Lost Sanctuary on the field. And it basically just banishes a light from your grave to pop a card twice per turn if you've got Sanctuary. We've got 3 Artos. So the main combo of this deck, and the reason you need Artos, is because the main combo is Earth plus Extender. So you need Earthos, Korobane, and the Light Stages, and Time Maiden for that purpose. I'll probably put in a little thing in the comments, maybe a link to like the combo, or I'll make that tomorrow or next week. But for now, you need these for extenders. Importantly, though, because we're running Carabane as one of our extenders, Carabane can be used with Earth to make Michael the Arclight Swan. We're running 3 Ash Blossom because it's just a generically useful card. 3 Earth, this is the main combo starter. This usually searches Neptune, which then you use it and the extender to make Moon, and Moon mills the Majesty Hyperion, which I forgot. Majesty Hyperion basically can summon itself from grave by banishing an agent from hand or grave or field, and it hurts the graveyard, but mainly the important thing is that it what's it called? It's that it comes back from grave, which means if you mill it from Moon, Moon will send it, and then you can summon it back from grave by banishing the Moon itself. Attack the Moon. Anyway, Candina's an extender. Earth. Diviner's another 1-card combo enabler. No, not another one. This is a 1-card combo enabler. So what you do with Diviner is that you'll normal summon Diviner, use Diviner's effect, mill Trias Hierarchia. Hierarchia will tribute the Diviner, summon back itself from grave, and then Diviner's effect will summon Buten from deck, and that will be 2 monsters to make the synchro. We've got 3 Herald of Orange Light. Orange Light is just a really good card. It's another hand trap, sort of like Ash, and you can send it to grave along with another fairy to basically just gamma something. Except you can control monsters. I think it's really good. I think that in every fairy deck you probably should be running it. Maybe not like, I don't know. I'm sure there's something where you don't want to run it, but you want to run it in this at least. 3 Neptune. This is like a Monster Reborn for agents. Plus, if you have Sanctuary, you can summon reback a Hyperion. Plus, when it's banished, it can add the Sanctuary, which is important for the combo because you banish it from grave with Majesty. 1 for 1. This is another extender, except it was better when Ava was legal, but it still gets you to Neptune or Time Maiden, which is good enough for what you want to be doing. 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. There are matchups where you'll encounter decks that play a lot of back row, even going first, and having 1 piece of back row removal in the main deck is good enough, and it's a really powerful piece of back row removal. Plus, not many decks just don't run any back row whatsoever. At least they'll run Imperm, for example. We've got 3 Sacred Waters in the Sky. Sacred Waters is basically Rota for the deck. It adds Sanctuary of the Sky, or any monster that lists Sanctuary of the Sky, which is Earth, it's Neptune, it's either Hyperion, and that's about it. And then it gains your life if you have Sanctuary already, which doesn't come up. Plus, if your monster that mentions it, which is Master Flare, which is the important one, it would be destroyed by battle, it can banish itself instead, which is decent-ish protection. 2 Chorus in the Sky. This is a really good card just in general. It adds 1 back, but then if you have Sanctuary in grave or field, you can add back a banished one as well. Which, like, because you have to banish for your combo, this just adds 2 cards for free, effectively. We've got Terraforming, just searches the field spell, searches Trickstar Light Stage, and Trickstar Light Stage is really good because it hurts back row, and it also searches an extender at the same time. And the reason we're running Terraforming as opposed to just free Trickstar is because it can also search Sanctuary in the Sky, and you can usually search Sanctuary in the Sky with your combo, but also you generally tend to send it, but like there are times where you'd want to just add it to hand. 1 Lost Sanctuary, this is part of your end board. It's just a negate that also searches Chorus, and then Chorus can be used on your next turn as a follow-up. Let's just get into the extra deck then. So we've got 2 Master Flare Hyperion. This is like the new deck's new boss monster after the supporting Ghost from the past 2. So it takes a fairy and a tuner. It takes a non-tuner fairy and a tuner, which can be Guardian Yaos because it's a fairy. And then it sends an agent or monster that lists the Sanctuary from your hand deck or extra deck to the grave to then gain that monster's effects and name. What you're mainly trying to send with this is the Celestial Night Lord Parshaft, because then Parshaft effect will let you discard a card to then add the add Lost Sanctuary to hand, which then you can set, which is an interruption. Then it also has the effect where if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can banish a fairy from hand or graveyard to just banish a card on the field, which is another good interruption. That makes the combo with Earth or Diviner, which gets you to this guy, 2 interruptions on its own. Running Ruddy Rose, this card's really good against graveyard heavy decks. If a deck cares about the cards in its graveyard, then this card can just be like, pop it down, banish all the graveyards, and then it's just like, yeah, it's just good. We're running 1 Michael. This card can be made with Corabane and Earth. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but also Orange Light, I guess. But it just lets you banish things on the field, which is like, there are certain situations where your opponent will have something that you want to get rid of, and this can just get rid of that. We're running 2 rank 8s. These are made with Eatos or 2 Hyperions, basically. Any combination of Eatos and the Hyperions. And Felgrand is just a good monster just to summon, and then it's just 2800 and it can just negate cards' effects or protect itself. Mainly you're going to be negating effects. And then Dingesu also protects itself, but then it, instead of being an interruption, it just sends a card from the opponent's control to the graveyard, which can deal with stuff that has protection. It can't deal with stuff that has, I believe, unaffected by all card effects protection, but it can deal with stuff that has stuff like this monster cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects or targeted or whatever. It doesn't target or destroy. It's just a really good card. Running Underworld Goddess, which is just a way to deal with monsters that otherwise you can't deal with. Like this can actually deal with unaffected. It basically just you can use an opponent's monster as link you control as link material for it. Running 2 Link 4s. Unchained Abomination is used because it's to make when you go first. It's good to make it. If you've got a lot of extenders, for example, you can just put this on board and it'll just be not necessarily another interruption, but it'll be a way to disincentivize your opponent from trying to break your board, because then this will break it in return. Boral Sword is just to OTK because Access Code isn't legal in Layer 2. It's not really more to say, it just lets you OTK quite often. It also is protection from battle. 2 Parshaft, these are both to send off Flare to search stuff like Sacred Waters or Lost Sanctuary. Nightmare Phoenix is just a good generic link too. It pops a back row, which you can be useful if you're like dealing against something like Secret Village. 2 Moon. Moon's like the main way to get Majesty into grave, which then lets you get the level 8. And plus it is removal as well. So while Nightmare Phoenix doesn't kill itself to use its removal, and Moon does have the advantage of it being letting you tribute any fairy to do it. instead, so it can tribute itself. And then we're running one Mirage Lights. This is another card that can just be good on the ender board. It lets you send a Fury from grave from hand to grave to negate a spell or trap effect, and the second effect doesn't matter. Okay, so let's get into the side deck. So we've got 3 Lancia. Lancia is just a good card against decks that want to banish cards because it just says they can't banish stuff. Basically. It also says you can't banish stuff, which is important. So don't use this in the middle of your combo because you won't be able to finish it. Droll's good against decks that want to search a lot. It's not really more than that. Just you could just the decks that want to I'm gonna add a billion cards to my hand. This just says no, you don't get to. Lightning Storm's good against back row heavy decks and also just monster heavy decks in general, where it just wipes the board and then that's useful. Importantly, you can't really use this going first because you want to going first and then drawing into it because you'll already have cards on the field, which is why we don't want to main this. Dark Ruler Maul is quite solid. It's another board breaker, which if the opponent's made a big board of monster negates, then this can just basically say your effects can't be used for the rest of the turn, which then means you have the opportunity to make a board yourself and then break their board. And then Droplet's similar, except it also halves the attack of the monsters and can be used in interruption going first, which means it can be an option if you want to, say, side out the Harpy's Feather Duster, for example. Okay, guys, so thanks for watching. As I remember saying at the start of the video, you should join Kuchen, join Rewrite, like, subscribe, comment. Bye.